Coming up on today's episode, nearly 2 years ago I bought this mid-90s PC. Let's see if it comes on at all. One by one we'll pull the cards out and have a look at them. Intel Celeron, 266 MHz, £549. For that and more, stay tuned and I'll see you right after the intro. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. Thought it was about time I did a PC video because it's been some time now. Some time ago, probably nearly 2 years ago, I bought this mid-90s PC. No idea what's inside of it. I bought it randomly, blindly one night on eBay, quite late. And I thought to myself, it looks quite nice. There's something nice about these little mini form factor PCs. They don't take up a lot of room. And this one seems to have quite a lot going for it. It's in very good condition. As you can see, it has a CD-ROM drive on the front there, along with a floppy disk drive, turbo button, power, key lock, and a reset button. I'm hoping it has one of those little digital displays on the front for the turbo, so you can see what speed it's running at. Let's have a quick look around the back, shall we, and see what boards are installed. As you can see, it has a couple of COM ports at the top there, and two additional COM ports below. Then you have a VGA card, Ethernet card, sound card, and what looks like a modem. This uses the larger keyboard socket, the DIN connection. So next we'll take this downstairs to the studio and set it up. And then we'll power it up for the first time since I've owned it. For such a small PC, this is actually quite heavy. I was quite surprised, so I'm hoping that there is a hard drive inside. Which is always a bonus, because it's always quite interesting seeing if they'll still work after all these years and what they might have on them. I've got this old keyboard here, which is pre-Windows. Bought this some years ago as well. It's new old stock, although it does say dead on arrival on the sticker on the box, which I didn't notice at the time. But it has a built-in trackball mouse, which is handy. Now I actually prefer these myself. So let's get this thing connected up. I've got my old Samtron monitor here. This is my oldest working colour monitor from 2002. It's quite a nice little monitor actually. But again, this also weighs a ton after the LCD screens. So first off, let's get the VGA cable plugged in. There's your DIN keyboard connector. I actually prefer those as well. I don't know what it is about the larger ones. They just seem a lot more robust. And there's the serial mouse connection, which comes out of the same cable for the keyboard. Okay, so the moment of truth. Let's see if it comes on at all. That's the monitor. I hear the fan. I think I heard a hard drive then. Let's see if anything comes up on the display. Will it boot? Unfortunately, it didn't boot at all. I didn't even get the post-boot sound that you normally get from the internal speaker. I did a restart and tried it again, but I'm not even getting anything coming up on the monitor itself. Even the green LED standby lights flashing, which means there's no signal. I unplugged the VGA cable from the computer itself, and then the monitor menu showed up on the screen. So I know there's nothing wrong with the monitor itself. So the next thing to do, I think, will be to take the computer apart and have a look inside, see what's going on in there. I'm hoping something just become dislodged in transit when it came there's nearly 2 years ago. Or it could be something else like a memory fault. You just don't know. So next up we'll open it up and take a look inside. Got an old hard drive there, 1998. Fujitsu. MPB 3032AT. So that's probably 3 GB, isn't it? Well, I can see everything seems to be seated. Can't see anything out of place. I thought there might be one of those horrible Dallas BIOS chips in here, but looking at it, there's not. So that's good. It's not that. Let's just reseat that RAM. Let's see if that'll do it, because obviously this has been sent to me in the post originally. Something could have fallen out of place. A little bump. Right, let's power it up again. See if we get anything on Post boots beep. So this still didn't work, so I think the next thing to do is start removing cards. One by one we'll pull the cards out and have a look at them and see if it boots. Got a PCI S3 Trio 64V DX or V2DX graphics card there. It's probably about 8 megabytes. Not seen one of those for a while. Got some memory expansion there. And a daughter board can go on, probably for a TV out. Nope. Ethernet card. Got a spot there for an EEPROM, so you can boot from an EEPROM, I think, if I remember rightly. Let's take that modem out. Well, I've not used one of those in a long time. That is covered in dust, but it's the bottom card, so I suppose you'd expect it to be. Speedcom, model RW5600V. Nope. Take the sound card out now. If it still doesn't boot, I suppose I'll just check the memory. Swap the memory out. What sound card have we got? It is a Yamaha YMF719E. Quite a basic card. Again, it's got space for a daughter board, some extra, 2 extra ICs there for expansion. That was probably actually for the driver board, because they got a 40 pin connector there for an IDE for a guess, and that will allow you to plug a hard drive into it. For the older motherboards, they needed a separate board to drive the hard drive. Still nothing. So we'll try the memory next. What we got here then? I bet it's a 64 megabyte SD RAM. C memory, it doesn't say actually, but it probably is 64 megabyte or maybe even 32. So I'll look at my stash now, see if I've got one. See what I've got in here. I'm hoping I've got one. I'm sure I have. Might not though. Might have to rob it out of another machine. There we are. PC 133. It might be a bit too fast, but it won't matter, will it? It'll be backward compatible. There we go. Always worry about them snapping over. Right then, fingers crossed, let's see if this will beep. No, still nothing. So it could be the CPU then. Okay, what we got there? We've got an IBM 6x86MX PR200. 66 megahertz, 2.9 volt. Let's just try reseating that, because I had this with a computer a little while ago actually. I bought it, arrived, it must have had quite a jolt in the post because the CPU had become dislodged with its heatsink. The legs all look okay. A little thermal pad there, no paste on this one. While we've got all the cards out, let's have a quick look at the motherboard and see what we've got here. Can't see any model numbers, but it says Top Gun there, and there's lots of chips with Acer on, so it must be made by Acer. Got 3 ISA slots, 5 PCI slots, 4 of the older memory card slots there, or RAM slots rather, and 3 SD RAM slots. I can see down there what looks like a PS2 socket next to the bigger socket there for the keyboard, and that's covered up by the backplane there, the backplate. And there's a little PS2, some pins on the bottom there to connect a PS2 cable to have it in the slot at the back here, so you can put a PS2 keyboard on that way. There's a socket there, not quite sure what those pins are for. Could be USB, probably is actually, so you can add a USB on the back there. Standard bottom cell battery, some more jumper settings down at the bottom there. All the capacitors look okay, which is good. This predates obviously the age of the bad capacitor plague. And you can also put, looks like an ATX power supply on this as well. CD-ROM brand is an unusual one, Werns. Peripherals International. I've got a manufacturer's date there. June 1997. I do love the fact this board has ISA slots as well as PCI. Obviously there's no AGP graphics card slot there. I guess that predates that. Disappointingly there was no two-segment display for the front there for the turbo button, but I guess on this machine they probably thought it wasn't necessary. Next I decided to unplug the floppy drive and the hard drive, and it still didn't boot. So I thought my next thing to try would be another set of RAM just in case the one I put in was bad. And sure enough... now we're getting something. Just swap that RAM out again for a different one. So that's a good sign. Sounds like Morse code, doesn't it? Right, let's get a monitor plugged in, shall we, and see what comes up on the screen. Okay, I've connected a monitor, so let's see if we get anything this time. That's on. Now the monitor's come on now. Here we go, we now have the BIOS. Well, that's good then. So something was obviously wrong. It must have been the RAM, and the RAM that I put in wasn't quite right either. So I've got a release date there of 26th of November 1997. There we are, P200 processor, 128 megabytes of RAM. And it's let me know that the CMOS settings aren't right. Well, that's brilliant there, so we're getting somewhere. I guess the next thing to do is to reconnect things one by one, see if it still boots, and then we'll connect the hard drive. But I'll connect the other bits off camera, but I'll save the hard drive for last and I'll film that bit. Okay, here we are all back together. Everything's plugged back in again as it was before. All the cards are installed. So let's power it back on again and hopefully we'll be greeted with that BIOS message. Looking good so far. Memory test. There we go, press F1 to resume setup. Is the keyboard going to work? That's the question. Yes it is. Is the built-in mouse going to work? No. That's a shame. I guess we'll have to use the keys instead. So let's have a look and see what we've got in here, shall we? USB function for DOS disabled, wow. So USB ready then. Didn't expect that on a computer this old. But then USB did come out in sort of mid-90s, didn't it? So yeah. All the usual things you expect to see on a computer at this age. Smart for disk boot. Smart disk. So where's the time? Have I missed it? Iron Master. Oh, here we are, date and time. I'm sure the battery backups are probably well gone by now. So I'm not going to bother saving anything because it probably won't remember. So let's see if there's anything on the hard drive. Will it boot from the hard drive? Let's have a look. Is it going to come back on again or is it frozen? Here we go. Well, it's detecting the disk drive. Oh, it's Windows 95. Wow. Oh, first error. Windows was not properly shut down. Press any key to run scan disk. Wow. Not seen this for a while. It's been quite a while actually since I've done a computer video. Oh, that sound. Looks like there's quite a bit on here. There we go. I didn't bother plugging any speakers into this because I didn't expect it to work, to be quite honest. And I thought it might be like Windows 3.1. But I guess I was wrong. I wonder if it's finding that new hardware because I put it back in the a different socket to what it was in the first time. Do you want to restart now? I suppose I better. Oh, the mouse is working now. That's good then. So I guess that keyboard was okay in the end. Strange how it said dead on arrival on the sticker on the box. Not quite sure it's showing all the colours there on that background. Wow, no password. I'm surprised. So accessing the floppy disk drive. Let's see if there's anything in the CD-ROM. No, nothing. Okay, I've just been watching some footage back and I can see it's flickering quite badly. So let's try and do something about that. Hopefully there's something in the graphics card settings to adjust the refresh rate. And then let's also have a look at the graphics card, see actually what it is. Oh, so it's only 1 megabyte, a lot lower than I thought. A bit disappointing. I thought it would be about an 8 megabyte, but I guess it is quite an old graphics card. Here we go. I've got the screen resolution at 800 by 600 by the looks of it, so let's try 75 megahertz. I can see that's looking a lot better now on the camera screen. Still washing over every so often, but nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Certainly a lot better than it was, so I apologise again for the flickering there before. It's one of the things of filming CRT screens, unfortunately. Right, that backdrop doesn't look like it's showing all the colours, so let's see if we can change that. It's on 256, that's probably why. Hopefully it won't restart. Oh, there we go. That looks much better. I've got a floppy disk in the drive because something else that was happening is it seemed to be accessing the drive for some reason. Not quite sure why. So let's have a look at my computer properties. So 128 megabytes of RAM, and it says Cyrix instead processor. Everything looks okay in the device manager, which is good. So let's have a look around, shall we, and see what's in here. I can see some things here that says KPI legal letters, Churchill fax, so I've got a feeling this might have belonged to a business. So let's have a look at the hard drive and see how big that is. Capacity 3 gigabytes, use space 2 gigabytes, so there's a lot on here. So where's my documents? There we go. Right, I'm going to have to blur this out because I can see there's a lot of personal information on here, personal letters. And the dates on them are from 2001, so this was used for a few years. There's no pictures on there in the picture file, but yeah, a lot of letters and things, documents. Let's see what programs are in here. Oh, Adobe, which one? Adobe Active Share, Photo Deluxe Home Edition 4. Oh, I don't think I've ever had that actually. Let's see what that looks like. Wow, I bet this hasn't been open for years. Photo Deluxe Home Edition 4. Wow. Open a sample photo. Get a sample photo. Well, it's taking a while to load. So glad this keyboard mouse is working. It's ever so handy having them in the keyboard itself. Saves having that extra cable. There we are, some default pictures in there. Oh, insert the Photo Deluxe CD. Oh, we don't have that. There'll be Acrobat, AOL. Wow. Huh. Initializing modem. Just heard it click, but unfortunately I don't have it connected to a phone line, so it's not going to work. And there's no dial tone for that now anyway, I don't even have a landline. But wow. Error version 2.51. Wow. Yes, it's got an error there. I hope it doesn't crash. Let's see what else we've got. BT Speedway, Omnipage Pro, Cashflow Manager, Europress, GSP Garden Designer, HP 400 Utilities, it must be printer, DeskJet 950 HP, Kazoo Player, I don't know what that is. Is it some early media player? Does it need the internet? It is some kind of media player by the looks of it. MGI Photo Suite. Got some good old photo editing software on here. Well, scanner, floppy disk, photo CD, Sanyo camera. Huh. Certainly bring back some memories. I haven't seen some of this stuff for years. Microsoft Clip Gallery, small office tools, Microsoft Works. I wonder if it's out the whole thing. Definitely need to back this drive up, do a clone of it before it fails. PaintShop Pro 4, another old editing program. You never know how long these old hard drives are going to last. I think if it was a Seagate or a Western Digital, it probably wouldn't be working at all. Certainly not from my experience anyway. PC Anywhere, Hypex Dial, that must be another bit of dialing software. Speedway, is that a game? Speedway Answer. Fax, no it's not. Turnpike, I think that's, I'm not sure what that is actually. Is it to do with traffic maps and things? Microsoft Outlook, yeah, it's just all the usual stuff. So I think that's about it for looking on here, isn't it? I think the next thing to do would be to install some games and see how we get on. Although I don't know what I've got actually. It's this old, with it only being a 66 megahertz processor and a 1 meg graphics card. But yeah, and I need to delete a lot of stuff from here as well if I'm going to keep it. I think going forward I'll probably end up formatting it, starting again, I don't know. So yeah, let's get some games installed. Got this nice pair of Trust Soundwave 80 amplified speakers. A little bit beat up. I think I got these in a charity shop for about £4 or £5 I think. Off camera I decided to try and install some games. I didn't want to put anybody through watching that installation process because it would be quite painful sometimes, if any of you remember these older operating systems. Got the Phantom Menace here, but that actually needs a 200 megahertz processor as a minimum, so that was a bit disappointing. I tried Project X, unfortunately that stopped working. The disc started whining and screeching, and then it started saying it needed formatting. And then I remembered I had Alien Trilogy. But unfortunately when I tried to install this, I got that dreaded 8 megabyte minimum error, memory error that you get with this game. And even when I tried to install it via DOS, I still got the same error, so very frustrating. So then I thought, what about Duke Nukem? That nearly always works, and sure enough it did.
Yeah, piece of cake.
I'm going to play a complete level here, which runs for around about 5 minutes. Again, I can see the pictures flickering there slightly, and I apologise for this.
King, baby.
Well, there you have it, the mid-90s PC. We now know what's inside of it and that it works. That was obviously some gameplay footage I did back there. I know some people enjoy seeing that, I do. Duke Nukem is one of my favourite games actually. It's one of those games you can just play over and over again. I did have quite a few struggles with this computer actually off camera. I was probably worked on this video now filming it for just over a week and trying out different things. I tried networking with it, that didn't work. I plugged an Ethernet cable in, the green light on the back lit up, but I couldn't get it to connect to anything, even after setting up file sharing on it. It would show up on my Windows 11 PC, which I probably wouldn't expect it to, but nothing else would show up on this either, so that obviously needs a lot more work doing to it, a lot more investigating. And these things take time, of course. In fact, you forget just how much time you spend on these old computers trying to get them to do simple tasks that we take for granted every day now. One thing I did notice on the Ethernet card, actually, there was a small, it looks like a crack on one of the ceramic capacitors. But I think it's supposed to be there because it almost looks like it's machine made that way. It doesn't look like it's cracked from age. It just looks like it's supposed to be like that. So I don't know. If anybody's seen anything like that before, please let me know in the comments. Interestingly as well, that 32MB stick of RAM that it came with initially, I popped it back in. It is actually working. I googled it, managed to find the part number and googled it. It said it was 32MB. Popped it back in, it's worked. So I don't know what was going on there. I think basically there was just a bad connection. This computer's been sat around for God knows how long without being used, and obviously being sent in the post, things obviously become a little bit loose, don't they? You end up with bad connections. So I've been going through some of my old PC magazines from the late 90s. I've got PC Plus here from July 1998. to try and do a bit of research and find out how much things would have been back in the day when this computer came out. And looking at some of the prices in here, it certainly wasn't a cheap computer, but obviously things have really changed over the years. I priced it all up here to give you a quick idea. 32 meg RAM 43 quid, 3 gig hard drive around 100, CD-ROM 30, case 45, network card 50, monitor 100, modem 50, graphics 40 quid, sound 40, motherboard 100, and that doesn't include the keyboard and speakers. So it's kind of looking between sort of £500 and £600 basically to put one together yourself. Obviously there were obviously other companies back in the day building computers that were ready to go straight away basically. You've got one there, look, Intel Celeron, 266 megahertz, £549, or £645 with VAT, and that includes everything there basically. And that's 60 meg of RAM, 2 gig hard drive, 4 gig quantum hard disk drive, 2 meg PCI graphics card, and a 14-inch VJ monitor. Obviously you've got your standard things like floppy drive, Windows 95 keyboard and mouse, and Windows 95 installed with manuals, disk supplied. So it's quite a lot of money. It was certainly out of my price range back in this time period. That's one thing for sure. All my stuff was second hand. In fact, it always has been pretty much. And you've got a Pentium 2 there, look, from 639 plus VAT on top of that. Which is very interesting looking back at these old magazines. It's certainly an eye-opener. Well, Time Computer Systems, got all about them. Yeah, very interesting. It's handy when you get these old magazines. It's good for research because you can't always find everything online. A lot of stuff seems to disappear. Well, it's certainly been very interesting looking at through this little window of what computers were like back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. This is one of those machines that you would have gone to your local independent computer reseller on the high street. They said, look, I want this, can you build me this? And it was basically all made from generic components, all off-the-shelf parts. There's no brand on it at all. It's just got their own name on it, which is Arrow in this case, which is probably the name of the company that made it. It's got quite a high serial number on the back, which would indicate they probably made quite a number of these machines, or put a lot of these machines together. Well, I guess that just about brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it with me. I hope it wasn't too boring. I know in some places it probably went on a little bit, but I do like to show people that may not be au fait with these old computers, what's involved, what is involved with getting them running, and the troubleshooting that you sometimes have to do. Well, I guess that just leaves me to say until the next video, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some more piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.